So welcome to our walkthrough of getting started with Codespaces. We're going to do it by working on assignment 1 together. I'll give you part of what you need, but the rest you can figure out yourself. Anyway, first, let us take the link from the assignment and that in the Blackboard and select it. It'll request we log in. I'm going to use my demo account. Alright, and it's letting me in. It's just the way I want to go. Do we want to join the classroom? You should see your name in here. Say OK. Now we're going to accept the assignment. Once we accept the assignment, it will create our first repository. And it'll tell you the due date. While it's creating it, you can refresh, and you'll see a link to your repository. If you need to come back to it, this is the link you'll need, so you might want to put it aside or keep it. So we're going to click on this, and here we'll see our first repository. Here are the instructions for the assignment, and it's going to be very similar to what we're doing because this is an introductory lesson. Click on the code button here. You'll see local and Codespaces. What we're going to say here is create Codespace on main. It's going to bang around for a little bit, and it'll create your very first Codespace. And what we will do here is, first, we're going to play around a little bit with the interactive Python command line, and then we'll write our first program. So, right now, you see we have a terminal down here. And what we can do here to play with it is to type Python. You can ignore these boxes. Okay, so we get a little command line here, and we can say, for example, print hello, and it'll run it immediately. Or we can say x equals 5, and we can say print x times 4, and it'll run that immediately. Now, the only problem with that is we can't really rerun the program. So what we're going to do is create our first Python file, and then create our first runnable program. All right, so what we will do here is click over here. Whoops. Where's my file? We'll say new file, and we will call our file hello.py for Python. Hit OK. And it'll create a file, and this will pop up saying, do you want to install Python? Say install. If you don't do this, things won't work right. It'll bang around here for a little bit, and when it's done, you'll be ready to go. So now, the first thing we're going to do, that we have to do with all of our assignments, is put in our header. If you don't, you're going to lose points. Actually, before we do that, first let's close this little box. Okay, so I'm copying it because I don't want to rewrite it, but first, so we install from the syllabus this. These are comments. What this means is this is going to be ignored by the program. It's just information for us. So let's change this to be appropriate. 5, and I don't remember the CIS 106. That's 102, I think, but you can check that. And so now this is our header. This says this is what our program is going to look like. This should be exactly as it looks here. I don't want any extra spaces or anything. So we're going to write our first Python statement, and it's going to be very simple. We'll say print hello world. Now for assignment number 1, you're going to replace this with your code, which will say print something else if you read the assignment. Now, what we're going to do here is then go on, and we are going to run the program. The way we run the program is we come over here, and we click this Run Python file. And what it will do is print hello world. Yay, our program works. So now comes the next fun part. How do we turn it in? Well, you might notice over here, there's this little squiggly thing. It has a 1 next to it, means you have one file changed. So click on this, and here is what's called our GitHub module. We always have to put a message up here, or else you'll get a weird screen and you'll have to save it and jump through hoops. Don't do that. So we'll say our call it what this doesn't have to be anything specific. Our first Python program. And we will say commit. It says there are no changes, say yes. Then we're going to say sync. Commit says we're ready to put it on our main file. If you don't sync, I can't see it. So click on sync. And once we sync, it will push it up. And once that's done, our first program has been submitted. So now what we're going to do next is take a look at how to look at instructor feedback. So once I've graded it, you should receive an email that shows it's been changed in GitHub. And now we can go and look at the comments I've left. So what you do is you come in here, click on pull request. Right? From here, click on feedback. If you look down and scroll down to the bottom, you will see my overall comments, well done, 10 out of 10, and then my contradictory comments here. It will actually show you the code and the line I commented on, and here I said, you forgot your header. Okay. Finally, come down here and say you're missing your header. And basically this will tell you what I thought and when. So there you go. That's your overview to getting started with GitHub. And now you can go ahead and do assignment 1.